Russia has invaded Ukraine. Russia is bombarding the country with missiles and bombs every day, killing innocent civilians. The number of But what's unacceptably shocking to see is racist discrimination. Even at the time of war, as the people are dying and struggling to escape the war zone, the torture and discrimination of Indians, Africans, Arabs and other people of color trying to cross the Ukrainian border has grabbed a part of the global spotlight. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs denied allegations of racism at the Ukrainian borders, saying there is no discrimination based on race, skin color or nationality, including when it comes to the crossing of the state border by foreign citizens. However, Indian students who have crossed over to neighboring countries allege rampant racism by border guards. It is even a shocker to see parts of media houses making it all seem like it is a big deal just because it is happening to a Western country where white people live.
I'm sorry, it's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed every day with Putin's missiles and his helicopters and his rockets.
And so, of course, I understand and respect the emotion.
The way they're dressed, these are prosperous, I'm loath to use the expression, these are prosperous middle-class people. These are not obviously refugees trying to get away from areas in the Middle East. They look like any European family that you would live next door to.
Countries like Bulgaria and Poland have often denied entry to Iraqi, Afghani and Syrian refugees in the past, but have now declared that they would accept as many Ukrainian refugees as possible, stating these are not the refugees we are used to. These are intelligent and educated people. Considering that war can only reach poor countries, what makes them poor? As said by the Indian parliamentarian Shashi Tharoor in his Oxford speech, the British destroyed the Indian economy and pushed the country back by several decades. The same could be true for many British invaded countries that are now labelled as the less civilized or the uncivilized. This raises questions like why the same level of solidarity was not shown by the world when 6 years ago, Russia had launched a bloody intervention in Syria that triggered a wave of people seeking refuge in the West. The US did intervene, but only in support of Russia's mission to prop up the Bashar al-Assad regime. Not just once, but Russia and the US had both invaded Afghanistan, which led to similar destruction and a large number of people living in exile. Western powers had also invaded Iraq to find weapons of mass destruction. None were found, but it left the country with similar destruction and a large number of people living in exile. And the list goes on. Calling them out for their hypocrisy, social media users have pointed out how white people with guns fighting invaders are seen as a symbol of heroism, but brown Muslims with stones fighting occupiers are labelled terrorists and shot down. At times of war, when protecting human lives and dignity should be a top priority, Ukraine's racist response amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine is the last thing expected when all the countries are in solidarity with Ukraine. Although a few years ago, African-American man George Floyd's murder by a police officer in Minneapolis had triggered a worldwide campaign known as Black Lives Matter, Ukraine's racist discrimination, even at such difficult times, shows that the support and acceptance are just limited till social media hashtags and likes.